Trump with another pardon. This one, I would say, surprising, apparently surprising to Mike Johnson, and has direct impact on the Republican majority. This is of Representative Henry Cuellar. He represents a increasingly sort of right-trending South Texas district. And as I think the most conservative Democrat left in the House at this point, has been more hawkish on things like border security, and was indicted, him and his wife, for alleged, fraud, money laundering, just taking bribes and then doing the bidding of various companies and various governments, by the way. Let's go ahead and take a listen to Trump explaining why he decided to pardon Cuellar.
Did you speak with House Republican leadership about your decision to pardon Congressman Henry Cuellar? And are you concerned that you made a vulnerable Democrat perhaps less vulnerable with that decision?
It didn't matter. He's a respected person. He was treated very badly because he said that people should not be allowed to pour into our country. And he was right. What happened is he got indicted for speaking the truth.
So, indicted for speaking the truth. Well, in reality, he was indicted because he allegedly funneled over $600,000 through sham consulting contracts, took money from a state-owned energy company in Azerbaijan and a Mexican bank in particular, and was doing favors and for them in exchange for that cash. Those are the allegations. He's been indicted. He has not been found guilty. This has obviously directed, Trump has just been on this pardon spree. He apparently does not think white-collar crime is actually crime. We covered earlier in the week some of the other pardons. We have some updates on that as well. But it also has direct political implications because this is a swing district at this point, a difficult one for Democrats to hold. Cuellar has, strong standing in the district. People know him. He's been there a long time, et cetera. And so if you're rescuing him from his legal troubles, it makes it more likely that Democrats will be able to hold on to this seat. I don't think it's probably going to matter anyway, because it looks certainly like a midterm wave is building where Democrats are going to take control of the House pretty handily and don't necessarily need this seat in South Texas. But, this is not certainly a help to Republicans. On the other hand, I guess it's possible. He's saying he's still going to run as a Democrat. I guess it's possible he flips parties. He did issue a statement thanking Trump. We can put B3 up on the screen with his reaction. He says, I want to thank President Trump for his tremendous leadership and for taking the time to look at the facts. I thank God for standing with my family and I during this difficult time. This decision clears the air, lets us move forward for South Texas. This pardon gives us a clean slate. Noise is gone. Work remains. I intend to meet it head on. Thank you, Mr. President. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America. Hakeem Jeffries, we got some bipartisanship here. Saagar, everybody coming together to support the pardoning of this, corrupt member of Congress who abused his position of power to take cash for him and his wife, allegedly, from foreigners in order to do their bidding. Let's put B4 up on the screen. He says this is exactly, Jeffries says this is exactly the right outcome. Listen, the reality is this indictment was very thin to begin with, in my view. Charges were eventually going to be dismissed, if not at the trial court level, then by the Supreme Court, as they've repeatedly done in instances just like this. Put B5 up on the screen as well. We've got a list here. We've got 12 members of Congress now who've been pardoned by Trump. So, if you're an elite and you say things or do things or give cash to the right person, you can do insider trading. You can take money from foreign governments. You can lie to the FBI. You can obstruct. You can, if you're George Santos, you could steal identities and lie about everything you could possibly imagine. And any of this is just perfectly fine if you're an elite and Trump likes you for some reason. So we have 12 members of Congress pardoned, or I guess commuted, and those 10 Republicans and 2 Democrats. The 2 Democrats are now Cuellar and Rod Blagojevich. Blast from the past there with that name. So anyway, there you go. Trump just letting white-collar criminals go at a pace we have never seen before. And as we've covered before, Saagar, certainly Trump not the first to abuse the pardon power, but the level, the shamelessness, and the sheer scope and scale of what he has done is truly without parallel.
Yeah, he just takes what is usually the quiet part and then says it out loud. Sometimes his political strength also just rubs it in your face. If you don't remember the details, just let's go over them again. Between December 2014, November 2021, Congressman Cuellar and his wife allegedly accepted $600,000 in bribes from 2 foreign entities, an oil and gas company wholly owned by the government of Azerbaijan, and a bank headquartered in Mexico City. The bribe payments were allegedly laundered pursuant to sham consulting contracts through a series of front companies and middlemen into shells owned by Imelda Cuellar, who performed little to no legitimate work under the contracts. In exchange for the bribes paid by Azerbaijani oil and gas, Cuellar agreed to use his office to influence U.S. policy in favor of Azerbaijan. In exchange for the bribes paid by a Mexican bank, Congressman Cuellar agreed to influence legislative activity and pressure high-ranking U.S. executive branch officials regarding measures beneficial to the bank. So that's the indictment that was actually leveled there against Mr. Cuellar.
I think there should be, to me, there should be elevated sentencing if you are a public official that engages in some of this.
I think there is. There's like a sentencing guideline whenever it comes to abusing your public trust, but we never even got to trial. Like, that's ultimately the problem here.
And I mean, maybe it was going to be thrown out by the Supreme Court because they have basically made it so that corruption and bribery is like by and large legal. They've taken such a like narrow view of what actually constitutes crimes, criminal acts of bribery and corruption, that maybe it would have been thrown out. But it's so disgusting that these people just get away with this. I mean, it truly is an attack on our entire system and the trust and faith that people put in you. It's so grotesque to me. And then for them all to be let off the hook en masse like this is, it's beyond a slap in the face. It's really disgusting.
Let's go to B6. Let's show everybody the next particular one. So we covered this previously, this Ponzi schemer. Well, the commutation issued to David Gentile actually wipes away all further fines and restitution. He had been sentenced to 7 years for the $1.6 billion scheme that had defrauded investors, and prosecutors had been seeking some $15.5 million in forfeiture. So he has wiped away all of that. And so
that's money that was meant to go to the over 1,000 victims of this man and his Ponzi scheme. And now they get nothing. They get nothing. So he was able to rob them and, through this Ponzi scheme bullshit, found guilty, right? So this is not alleged, found guilty. And now the victims get nothing because Trump came in and said, "Oh, I'm good with this guy. Go free, enjoy your life. Nothing to see here."
That's right. And actually, yesterday he actually commuted or pardoned someone that his own DOJ indicted some 5 months ago. That's my personal favorite.
Well, and you know who had prosecuted this case against Gentile? I think was that Emile Beauvais.
Yes.
He was like his guy.
Yes.
And he was, I think justifiably like proud of putting this guy behind bars. And now he comes in and, oh, never mind. We think this was, we don't think this was correct. People were asking, okay, why this guy? And we still don't really know. Many of these people who have gotten pardoned, there's sort of obvious either like political or they gave money. We covered one of them who got pardoned or had his sentence commuted where mom had given millions of dollars and raised money. And right after she goes this dinner with Trump, lo and behold, the guy gets let free. And then I think that was the one that immediately started defrauding people again. And by the way, a number of the people that Trump has pardoned have already gone out and committed other crimes and offenses. So you are literally letting criminals loose on the streets, Mr. Law and Order. But in any case, people were like, it wasn't immediately clear why this particular fraudster got off the hook. He had a partner in crime who did not get let off the hook. So it was, eyebrow raising, like what exactly is going on here. There's one possibility that's been raised with B7 up on the screen. Apparently he had a bunch of connections that were sort of like 2 degrees removed from Rudy Giuliani, is close with some of the people that this guy, David Gentile, was close to. So this is Jacqueline Sweet did this reporting. She says Trump commuted the prison sentence for financial fraudsters with ties to Russian tycoon allegedly linked to organized crime. This Russian tycoon, by the way, guys, now lives in Israel and is also very close to the entire Israeli government, number of whom were at his daughter's wedding, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll just read you a little bit of this and you guys can make of it what you will. So she says, Trump inexplicably commuted the sentence of a $1 billion Ponzi schemer, Scientologist, private equity exec, and accountant from Long Island, just days into a 7-year sentence, leading to widespread speculation about why. David Gentile is not just any financial fraudster, however. His business history is long intermingled with former Russian oligarch Michael Michael Cherney, wanted by Interpol for alleged ties to Russian organized crime, and Cherney's family and associates records reviewed by Disaster Girl reveal. Michael Cherney has long worked with another allegedly Russian mafia-linked figure, Eric Kislin, whose uncle Sam Kislin is one of Rudy Giuliani's oldest friends and supporters who once reportedly helped Trump stave off bankruptcy. Although it's unknown exactly who advocated for Gentile's release, his business ties bring him within 2 degrees of some of Trump's oldest backers in the Ukrainian and Russian-American business world and the highest levels of the Israeli government. So could be something going on with that.
That kind of fits with everything I know about some of these
Yeah.
pardons. So, for example, the Honduran president, I was finally reading into it. The
It's like
case
a
was
Roger Stone guy, right?
It was no, but it's also Matt Gaetz. So it was like Matt Gaetz,
really?
Roger Stone. They kind of bubble up the case, then it gets intertwined with the elections, and the State Department starts to see. It's just like a Byzantine network to basically get up to the favor of Trump. I mean, for example, this entertainment lawyer who he just pardoned a couple days ago. It's really crazy. Like, this guy was indicted by Trump's DOJ 5 months ago, and then he was just pardoned, and nobody really knows why. Like, he was the CEO of this entertainment group, quote, for orchestrating a conspiracy to rig bidding process for an arena at a public university in Austin, Texas. Nobody really understands how he got to Trump. They do know that he was represented by Trey Gowdy, so that's kind of the only like connection really that anybody knows. Trey Gowdy is the former Republican congressman, the guy who did Benghazi, and now he's on Fox News every once in a while. Like, that seems to basically be the way that this all came about. But yeah, it's totally nuts, right? I mean, this is somebody who was literally indicted by Trump's own DOJ. So to throw out and say the politicization just seems, I mean, it's a bit crazy. But that's how things are working right now.
Yeah, and then lastly, just to give you a sense of how different this is on in terms of the scale versus what other presidents have done. Put B8 up on the screen. CNN compiled this data. So here's the number of pardons by presidents in recent years. So George W. Bush, 189, and that was over his 2 terms. Obama, 212, also over his 2 terms. Trump, in the first administration, 144, so sort of in line with what others were doing. Biden, 80. And now Trump, 2025, 1,500 plus. So, I mean, this is really kind of, I guess, typical of Trump, and especially Trump 2.0, where every president has abused this pardon power. It really needs to go away. It has to be reformed. It needs to go away. Presidents should not have the powers of kings. But in any case, bipartisan affair to abuse the pardon power. And yet somehow Trump takes it and puts it on steroids. And it's like, okay, well, we're just going to do this to an insane degree. It's going to be brazenly obvious, the corrupt ties that these people had to me. It's going to be, it's just going to be in your face and constant, so that you can't even keep track of all the
we didn't even know about
criminals that we're just setting free.
Yeah, I mean, like this one, he was in the sports thing. Again, what I think is so extraordinary is these are some people in the antitrust division who spearheaded this indictment that went through, and then somehow through Trey Gowdy or whatever, you can just get a full pardon from the United States. It's just like outright corruption. It's totally crazy. But yeah, I guess that's how the government works right now.
Apparently.
Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.